Today we're going to talk about using hypnosis to help you overcome your fear of needles in order to get your vaccination. Did you know that about 1 in 10 people have a fear of needles? It's called trypanophobia. It's a real thing, and it may just be what's secretly holding you or a loved one back from getting that vaccination. With all this talk lately about the need to be vaccinated and the millions of people who haven't yet gotten a vaccination, nobody ever mentions that there could likely be a percentage of people who maybe haven't gotten a vaccination because they're afraid of needles and getting injections, and it may have less to do with anything else. So let's dive in. Hi, my name is Josh Kennedy. I'm a hypnotherapist and certified master hypnotist, and I help professionals and companies overcome stress and procrastination using hypnosis. But today, we're going to talk about using hypnosis to help those of you who want to get a vaccination, but so far have been afraid of the needle or the actual process of getting the shot. In full disclosure, I used to experience this fear of needles and had a few, let's just call them unpleasant, experiences that I've since gotten past. I am now vaccinated, and I'll be sharing the strategy that I personally used that made this entire process of getting 2 injections go smoothly. My goal is to help 1,000 people who are afraid of needles successfully get vaccinated easily and comfortably. So please consider sharing this video with any friends or family members that you believe may be struggling with a fear of needles, possibly making excuses as to why they can't or don't want to be vaccinated. This video will be in 2 parts. The first part will be a brief discussion about the subconscious mind and how we can help you with some updated ways of thinking to help overcome your fear. In part 2, we'll put that information to work using hypnosis so that you can achieve your goal of getting vaccinated easily and comfortably. So part 1 that you're watching right now does not contain any hypnosis, and it's perfectly fine to watch or listen to at any time. I want to begin by saying that I'm not a medical professional and that I have no medical opinion to offer about any pros or cons of any vaccines. This video is not intended for a vaccine debate, as there are many other places for that. In this video, I want to focus on helping those people who want to get a vaccination. And if you are the one who's afraid of needles, realize that you're not weak or crazy or irrational. It goes back to what your subconscious mind believes to be true, even though you probably learned this fear when you were quite young or after having had a bad experience. Let's spend a moment talking about the conscious and subconscious mind and how it relates to your fear to help you better understand how it will help you overcome it. Our conscious mind is where we do all of our day-to-day thinking, and it contains our logic, analysis, reasoning, willpower, decision-making, and it's the part of the mind where we process and make choices. Our subconscious mind, however, is more like a storage device that logs everything that you know and have learned and categorizes all of this information of a lifetime with the simple notion of helping you to identify, associate, and respond. We call the data stored in your subconscious mind knowns, and that just means that you have associated an event or experience. Now, when it comes to needles, you probably already realize in your conscious thinking mind that you shouldn't be afraid and that your fear is silly. However, at some point in your life, you learned that you needed protection from this perceived danger of the needle. When you identify any situation involving a needle, you currently associate it with a bad experience, and you respond with fear. And that's when we begin to talk about fears. You can now see how a fear can be a learned behavior. You don't just have a fear, you learn a fear. In fact, we're only born with 2 fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Every other fear that we have is learned. Even when it comes to needles, at some point you learn to be afraid of needles or injections. Maybe you had a bad experience, triggering your fight-flight, and your subconscious mind cemented in that experience as a known, and you recalled it the next time you experienced the same or similar trigger. Perhaps you have a family member that has this fear and learned it from them. Most of us have our first experience with needles as a young child and feel no control to fight or flee. All we can do is freeze, and it can be a positive or a horrible experience. But that does not mean that you have to own that fear forever, because that which has been learned can be unlearned or relearned differently. So how do we address our fear of needles? Let's start by understanding what you need to unlearn. Right now, if you were to imagine the worst possible outcome to getting a vaccination injection, what would that be? Make a snapshot of that in your mind and turn it into a photograph in your hand. a black and white photograph. Now, imagine that photograph getting old and withering, the ink fading, the corners coming off, just becoming an old memory that you once had. Now, suspend that thought for a moment, thinking about your favorite person or thing just for a moment. It's like the sorbet course in between a fancy meal. It puts your mind on track to turn the corner into a positive feeling. And now, let's look forward and imagine the best possible outcome that you could have from getting a vaccination injection. The calm, the comfort, the notion that it just is and you really don't have to be bothered by the process. The people, the volunteers, the doctors, all there just to help you have a pleasant and easy experience with your vaccination. Just imagine how the entire process could be positive and go extremely easily and well. We want to help you update your learning to expect the best outcome, even one better than you thought you could imagine. And I'm going to help you with both a few practical tips and a little hypnosis exercise to help you get your vaccination quickly, easily, and comfortably. Without the anxiety or any fight-flight, remember, identify, associate, respond. We're going to update the association in your subconscious mind so that you will have a different and quite positive response. Let's practice first by coming up with our list of tips and suggestions that we'll use in hypnosis, and then we'll talk about the hypnosis itself. First, we're going to bring about calm by having you imagine yourself in the most relaxing and comfortable place that you've ever been to or dreamt of. A sandy beach, a calm forest, a mountaintop retreat. You get to pick something that represents calm and relaxing to you. Next, we're going to focus on how we breathe, slowly, steadily, and deeply. You breathe in fully, as if you can remember blowing bubbles as a child, taking in a deep, full breath, and then slowly releasing it as you blow as many bubbles as you can from that one breath. Then, we're going to employ distraction so that we don't even notice or pay attention to the injection when it happens by having you be in your calm, relaxing place and breathing slowly and steadily. And then you look in the opposite direction from the arm where the vaccination is going, diverting your gaze as we give a pinch of some skin on our opposite hand, delivering all of your attention in that moment directly to the skin that you have hold of. That pinch is there to draw and keep your attention to help you remember being in your calm and relaxing place while you breathe slowly and deeply. Those are the easy steps, and in the next video, we supercharge them for you in hypnosis with some post-hypnotic suggestions. But even if you just take the steps I listed here, it may be all that you need to help you sail through your vaccination easily and comfortably. The vaccination itself lasts that long. Afterwards, you continue practicing your slow, deep, and calm breathing as you begin to feel more relaxed now that the vaccination has taken place. So let's talk about hypnosis and how it can help us with an even bigger boost. Hypnosis is not magic or mind control, and it's not a cure. It's just a receptive state of consciousness just above the actual delta sleep state, where you are highly suggestible. It allows you to focus or redirect your subconscious mind to create or expect an outcome to a familiar event. This state is the most direct connection that we can have to updating your subconscious known associations. However, you can never be made to do anything that's morally objectionable to you or against your principles, and you always remain in full control, even though you may have seen some hypnosis stage shows that might lead you to believe differently. Hypnosis works with the power of your want in order to achieve a goal, and helps you to easily dismiss any obstacles from your old subconscious programming that no longer serves you. The key to your success is in the want. Check in with yourself and ask, why do I want to get vaccinated? There are many good and appropriate answers, and you probably already know yours. For instance, maybe you're not keen on getting vaccinated, but you love your family and kids or your parents so much that you want to be vaccinated to help protect them. I guess what I'm trying to distinguish here is that you don't have to like it, you just have to want it. And deep down, you need to believe in the power of your want. If that's you, then you will overcome your fear and be able to get the vaccination more easily than you thought possible. Your subconscious mind is powerful, And in hypnosis, we work with your subconscious mind to help you turn down and tune out any fear to the point where you might not even feel the injection of your vaccination. Try this. Can you feel your shoes on your feet right now? Or can you feel if your clothes are too tight or too loose? Or can you feel the temperature in the room? If you focus on it for a moment, you begin to notice these things, but you probably weren't aware of feeling these things before I mentioned them. Your subconscious mind takes in everything going on around you and simply tunes non-essential things out. So part of our hypnosis will include helping your subconscious acknowledge and release any fear around needles, literally tuning it out so that you can get the vaccination that you want. Another interesting notion about hypnosis is that we often use the term deep sleep, but you won't be asleep at all. Instead, you're acutely aware of everything going on around you, especially the sound of my voice. In hypnosis, some people will hear and remember every single word, while others will only hear words vaguely remembering what was said afterwards. This is all normal. Just remember that my objective as a hypnotist is to have a conversation with your subconscious mind, and it's perfectly okay for your conscious mind to listen too. But some folks notice that their conscious mind wanders while in hypnosis. Again, that can be normal too. The bottom line for our talk today is that you can have the outcome that you want, and you will get the outcome that you expect. I'll repeat that part. You will get the outcome that you expect. How many times has something gone wrong, and the first thing somebody says to you is, well, what did you expect to have happen? Quite often, our self-talk can be rather negative, and we punish ourselves for not doing better. That's something that I work on in hypnotherapy with clients, is when you train your mind to focus on a successful outcome, that becomes what you know. You're known. And it's easier to go after and achieve something that you know than it is to focus on avoiding what you don't want. So, for your vaccination, we're going to tell your subconscious mind to expect an easy, calm, pleasant experience that you will feel very confident undertaking. You will be comfortable and will actually be quite proud of yourself once you've done it, because deep down, you knew that you could do it all along. Okay, so we're about ready to move on to part 2 of this video for those of you who want to experience hypnosis to help you with your goal of getting vaccinated without the fear of needles. And I've linked to that video above and also in the description below. I kept it separate in case you want to experience it more than once and don't need to revisit this introductory information each time. If you're listening to the podcast, the hypnosis portion follows this talk in chapter 2 of the same broadcast. You're also welcome to visit my website, Hyp-Replacement.com, where you may sign up for my mailing list and receive a link to download an MP3 version of the hypnosis so that you can listen to it at any time. On the website, you can also learn more about me and my hypnotherapy practice, where I see both individuals and businesses from all over the world via Zoom to help overcome stress, limiting beliefs, procrastination, and more easily achieve goals. Please consider sharing this video with any family member or friend who you think may be avoiding the vaccination because of a fear of needles. It's more important than ever now that we help every and anybody who wants to get a vaccination. If you personally found success in overcoming your fear of needles, even if it was just long enough to get your vaccination, please leave encouraging comments below to share your positive experience with others in the community who may be like you. Your words do matter. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up to let me know. And just remember that you can get the vaccination if you want to get the vaccination, easily and comfortably if you allow yourself to accept that it is possible, feeling calm and breathing slowly and deeply while you give yourself a little distraction. So with that, let's jump to part 2 for our hypnosis session. I'll see you there.